The meta has been shifting a lot these last few patches. It can be difficult keeping up with all the constant changes. Thankfully, that's why I'm here. I'm Swagadelic, and today we're going over what I think are the strong comps in patch 12.20 of TFT and what comps are weak. Let's get started. The devs are looking to push Wukong reroll. After getting buffed across the board in 12.18, he's gotten further damage buffs at 3-star in 12.20. When combined with Gnar, who recently got buffed last patch, Wukong Jade reroll might become a major threat to top 4 games. This is how the endgame board could look like. You want to slow roll at level 5 for Wukong and possibly Nasus, then move on to level 6 for Gnar if you've been high rolling. If not, then just power through to level 8 and 9 for Xiaoyu 2-star and an endgame board. Shimmer Scale 3 fits in really nicely with this comp if you choose to stay at Jade 5, since Nasus got buffed this patch and is also a 1-cost unit. Wukong's main damage item is Deathblade. Your other 2 options will vary based on augments, but Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice, Edge of Night, Titan's Resolve, Ginsu's Rageblade, and Quicksilver Sash are all solid options. If you play the Shimmer Scale variation, then Nasus will be your main tank, but you can also go with Gnar, Jax, or Xiaoyu. Extra carry items can also go to Xiaoyu or Gnar, depending on if you 3-star him. The next big winners of this patch are Dragonmancers. It seems as though Dragonmancers have been getting buffed steadily every patch for the last couple of months now. This time around, Kai'Sa has gotten even more damage at 3-star, and the Dragonmancer trait has also gotten buffed as well, which means Kai'Sa reroll looks to be the predominant Lagoon carry. And with Zac also getting buffed this patch, this comp is in prime position to top 4 games. With Kai'Sa, you want to play Lagoon 3 and Dragonmancer 4, then add on any units that might be strong, such as Rakan for Guardian 2 and Mystic 2. Going for Dragonmancer 6 is also a strong option here. You want to slow roll at level 6 for Kai'Sa and possibly Seraphine if you high roll her. Once you hit, just move on to level 8 or 9 to add in more units for the endgame. For items, Hand of Justice or blue buff depending on augment choices, combined with double crit items, Jeweled Gauntlet and Infinity Edge. Your main tank will be Zac, and any Mancer can play secondary carry. For more info on how to play this comp, click the link at the end of the video for my full Kai'Sa breakdown. Alongside Kai'Sa is her Dragonmancer partner Volibear. Having gotten buffed in several patches now, he's also received a buff in 12.20. This time his mana pool has been buffed, which means he can enter his lightning chain attacks much faster. Believe it or not, this small buff is actually really powerful. When combined with the Dragonmancer trait buff and the buffs to Shimmer Scale items and units in 12.18 to now, Dragonmancer Volibear is actually a very powerful comp. To play this comp, you want Shimmer Scale 3, Dragonmancer 4. You have the option to go for Shimmer Scale 5 in the late game, depending on the items you get from the trait. It might be very worth it if you get items like Gambler's Blade and Goldmancer's Staff in particular, as those items synergize with Volibear very well. You want to slow roll on level 7 for Volibear and possibly Lee Sin if you high roll him. Your main items will be Ginsu's, QSS, and a healing item 3rd. This can be either Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice, or Gunblade. Now Bloodthirster is the best option due to the guaranteed healing plus the health shield, giving Volibear the most sustain in the front line. You can, however, swap Bloodthirster for Goldmancer Staff if you have a strong healing augment, and Ginsu's is also swappable for Gambler's Blade. Now we're talking about 4 dragons. Not much has changed about this comp, so let's get right into it. Your main goal is to get fast 9 and roll down for the big expensive dragons. Whether you do that with econ augments or econ traits like Lagoon, Shimmer Scale, and Astrals, totally up to you. Once you hit level 9, you're looking for Shyvana 2, Terra 2, Idas 2, plus either Asol or Aoshin 2. Aoshin is better if you can't fit an evoker unit for Asol. At level 9, you can fit a 5th dragon, which should be either Siphon or Zippy for CC and damage. If not, then Rakan plus Bard is not a bad choice for trait synergies and CC. Now for the biggest losers this patch, Mage Lagoon suffered a big hit. Soam is the biggest loser here. Getting damage nerfs to Zoe, Soam, and Mage Namzi, you lose a lot of power in the late game. And with Mage Crown now offering Lux instead of Silas, it's no longer a forcible augment to play if you see it on 2-1. It looks like the devs want to shift the meta away from the mages and lean towards other AP comps and dragons. I'm sure this comp will still be a solid top 4 play, but it's not something you should force. If you're uncontested or high rolling, then playing it will lead to top 4s, but you may struggle to secure the top spot in the game without a lucky Soam 3-star. Now there aren't too many big losers this patch aside from Soam, but I thought I'd mention the Soy Fen comp, which has been popping up since 12.19. This comp is Xiaoyu plus Saifen with supporting units like Pantheon. While the comp is slightly worse for wear now that both Xiaoyu and Saifen were nerfed in 12.20. The nerfs were minor ones, and I don't think it'll hurt too bad. You may not see it 3 times a game now on separate boards, however. Add to this that Wukong reroll is now more likely to be played, and this means you won't see Xiaoyu players leaning into Saifen rather than Wukong reroll. Guild Xayah also received some minor nerfs, but if you include the Jace rework in 12.19, they're starting to pile on. The Guild attack speed and Guild Omnivamp trait were both nerfed, which is a direct nerf to Xayah, since most people ran Guild Emblem on her specifically. The Guild trait also got weaker at tier 7 and 8, which means you're better off playing at 6 and below and leaning into more Ragewing instead. Now to compensate, this comp also got a ton of buffs on the high end, which means if you're high rolling any of the following units, you're in a very strong position. Xayah, Hecarim, Rakan, Jace, and Shyvana all got buffed at 3-star form. The reason I say this comp is in the loser section is because unless you high roll or have a major econ advantage to spend a ton of gold looking for a 3-star, you're not likely to hit any of those units. But if you can, it's almost guaranteed to be a 1st or 2nd. If you want to improve fast, then you have to sub to my channel for more meta updates like this one and comp guides like Kai'Sa reroll, which you're about to see. Till next time, I'm Swagadelic.